Hello, fellow kid sports fans. Yeah, I haven't watched any of it. I don't know. I haven't cared for quite a while. Pretty much ever since the Packers, you know. The Seahawks stopped the Packers, like, what was that, 2012? 2014? I think it was 2014. Actually, that was when the Seahawks also faced the Patriots. Because I remember the Seahawks beat the Packers to go to the Super Bowl. So they went to the Super Bowl instead of the Packers. I think that was 2014. Super Bud. Now, the Super Bowl is right now, actually. The superb owl. So I had this, this guy was here, but this one seemed pretty beat up, and I just emailed the dude. I actually have somebody ordered a lefty, but they actually needed a righty, so they sent it back to me. So this one's brand new, and actually I think that's probably what I need to do next. Neil Brown says, need the right-handed version. That actually happens once or twice a year. I try to make it as obvious as possible, like, you know, which hand is it for on the website, but I've had that happen more than once. Although the repairs have, also sold less the last couple of years, but the repairs have also gone down, so hopefully that's good. Oh, I saw an article, apparently they might make a new controller next year. Wonder if they're going to make it harder to hack. My stupid, crappy tablet. Oh, wait a minute. Bud's bed is not in position. Bud. Are you a begging cat? You were begging pretty hard for the chicken earlier, weren't you? I gave the chicken to the outdoor creatures, the ones who don't get fancy food from Chewy.com. Who the hell is Bad Bunny? Is that like some YouTuber? What's the big hype about? Well, wait, no, it must be a singer, right? If they're on the Super Bowl. I was able to find these Pulse Red. It's still impossible to find new white controllers, although maybe they're gonna phase these out and make a new controller, which I'm sure they'll make harder to mod. They'll be like, now we hate Ben. Obviously a $3 trillion corporation would make a decision based off me. Hashtag ego. What is it, bud? I got my Voron printer fired up this weekend. Very poor choice of words. Yeah, once I actually, it's Clipper, so you go into it with a web interface, which I don't know, I'm still not crazy about. But when I went in to do like all the tests, like the sanity tests, everything just worked. The only thing that was an issue was like the energy chain for the Z was like a little too short, so I had one spare link, so I stuck that in and then it worked. I am old. Yes, it's true. Yes. How long will Bud sleep? Place your bets. This might look cool with like some black caps. Crap. Almost out of black caps. Okay, so this guy needed a righty, so I guess I'm going to build a righty. Then we got Dustin, who also ordered one. And I think then I'll be caught up. Also, I thought I was... I must have had an old entry on my calendar, because I was like, oh man, am I supposed to go to Spooky this week? But, I mean, I think they're not flying back from Florida until tomorrow morning, and it's like, no, it's next week. So I must have like an old entry in my calendar. So, yes, that's one of the reasons I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to do this tonight because I won't be around tomorrow night, but now I will. Maybe I'll do the other controller tomorrow night, and then I'll be all caught up. Yay! Bud, why don't you go to your home? Yeah, Guy Incognito, not that long ago, they made like online betting legal, so now people can waste even more of their money. Yeah, I was on the screensavers once. Yeah. That was 2004, I think. That was a long time ago. That was back when I was really skinny. Probably too skinny. Bad Bud knee. Yeah. Give you a B for effort. C plus tops. You know, one thing I think it was Screensavers. One thing I remember about being on there is that I think it was that episode where like one of the guys wanted to make like a George Bush joke, and they actually had to ask legal first before they did it, because I think they wanted to call someone like brain dead or retarded or something. So even back then, you know, Sessler was Sesslering. I was like, wow, he's yeah. Halcyon age. But yeah, I distinctly remember that. What is it, Bud? Ben, have you ever watched Bad Ben? Who is Bad Ben? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2004. Yeah, because actually going on that show is how I got a book deal. And that was 2004. So yes. That was the same year I got a really bad sunburn on part of my leg. Yeah, because that was... Yeah. It was the strangest thing. I actually was asking ChatGTP about it, but I was visiting a friend of mine who was stationed in Honolulu? Yeah, Honolulu. And we were hanging out at the beach, and I had to put all like the sunscreen on, but I missed a spot on my left shin, so it was kind of like Achilles, right? With his heel. And I got this really bad sunburn. It was like blistering and everything, and it took forever to heal. I remember that. But the weirdest part about it was, for a very long time after that, probably like probably at least 10 years after that, whenever I would go to the airport and they had the porno scanner, they would always want to touch that part of my leg. So I always kind of wondered, like, if it must have done like some sort of subdermal damage that looked like a different density on the machine. I don't think it has. Well, I don't fly as much as I used to, but it did eventually stop happening. But it was like that one's a really bad print. It was like clockwork. It was like they always wanted to touch it, so I was kind of curious. Oh, these aren't great. Which printer did these? Whose boots have your bed been under? Abundance of subdermal scar tissues? Possible. Yeah, I remember, well, you know, maybe it wasn't summer, but for months I would keep itching it. So that made it take longer to heal. Actually, you know, come to think of it, yeah, that one was messed up for a while. But maybe it was because I was still itching it. It was just, yeah. But even like years later, it looked normal, and they would still want to touch it. Your cat hears Bud and is freaking out, huh? You know, sometimes I show Bud cat videos on YouTube, and he doesn't give a crap. Because same thing, I want to see if he'll freak out. What is it, Bud? Are you a wimp? Where are you going? What are you looking at? Why are you always looking at invisible things? The Kid Rock halftime show. Hey, Juxtapose, how's it going? Oh, so how's the who's winning in the Super Bowl? I guess I would want the Seahawks to win because screw the Patriots. Which team should I randomly hate for some reason? Well, Patriots, that's pretty easy. Which team has Taylor Swift's boyfriend? I know that's not these teams. Go. Hey, as far as I know, I don't think there's any ghosts here. I absolutely 100% believe there is some sort of phenomenon that makes people think they see ghosts. So I don't know what they are, but I think there's something there. Because we had that haunted shop once, and it's like, okay, that's weird. I don't know what it is, but something's weird. So thankfully that never happens here. Oh crap, my drill's upstairs. The very low 9-0. Oh really? They're gonna be to halftime by now, aren't they? I gotta go get the drill. I'll be right back. Food, food, food. How about that? I was on screensavers twice? I was? Oh god, I can't remember. I know I've gone out and done a lot of those shows, but I don't remember all of them. Cause there's like Screensavers was Tech TV, right? But I think I also was on G4, which wasn't the same thing, right? God, I don't remember. I was on MTV once too. It was weird. That was like a different era. Like that was before there was YouTube, so like you'd always have like places like that, like you know, flying you out and stuff. I guess it was interesting. There's one I did in Los Angeles. I can't remember which one. God, I can't remember. This is like 20 years ago. I can't really remember anymore. No, I never met Morgan Webb. I think I met Leo Laporte. I never, well, gosh. ZDTV, that's hard to say. Then Tech TV. No, then G4, okay. Yeah, so G4 was like what, like the late 2000s? Yeah, and then they brought it back and that was so dumb. Like, oh yeah, we need like a 20,000 foot studio in Los Angeles so I can pretend to be a producer again. Psh, Christ. And then of course the infamous rant that they had. It's like, you know, Olivia Munn might not have been born to be easy on the eyes for you, but that's absolutely why she was hired. It's like, come the F on. It's like, you work in entertainment, just... Well, you know what it was? It was Adam Sessler obviously had some sort of guilt. It's like, oh my god, I had a show where I had hot women, like, jumping in, like, you know, pools of, like, what is it, whipped cream and stuff. Oh, man. Oh, it's like, yep, you did. So... whatever. I mean, I wouldn't give a crap, but he obviously did. It's almost like your audience was like teenage boys or something. God. Well, also, something like Tech TV, like, there's no reason to have it in the 2020s. It's, you know, it would be a YouTube show, you know? And you're just going to get beaten by, like, people with no budgets, you know, like Moist Critical or those guys is like, oh, his budget is, he's got a webcam in a room. And you lose, so you can't beat that. Okay, this is a righty. Oh. Hey, speaking of getting canceled, I saw that Palmer Luckey was on the Joe Rogan show not that long ago. You hid behind 144 Divx video clips.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, yeah. Yeah, YouTube didn't even really become super mainstream until like late 2000s. I mean, it existed as far back as 2004, but there wasn't really much on it.
Activating the desoldering iron. Making a Toyota gaming controller. Yes, I'm making a Toyota gaming controller. Toyota. Oh, I still haven't bought a truck. I was going to text that kid back, but I don't know. He texted me back on Wednesday. He's like, "Are you still in the market for a truck?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm still kind of interested." He's like, "Well, there's a guy coming in tomorrow to look at it." And I'm like, "Oh my God. That's like the dog ate my homework of salesman lines. You really want to use that line?" I didn't say that, though. I just thought it. I learned long ago that you should only say like 1/50th of what you think. Wasn't Divx the thing where it was going to be like a DVD that you rented and then it self-destructed? Like it like basically had like it was meant to bit rot. Probably not very. I don't think anyone would think that's environmentally friendly. Put a movie on a CD with Divx. What happened to G4 TV? I think it ended like in 2012 or something. And then they tried to bring it back, but nobody gave a shit. And then they had like this huge like sexism rant that kind of went viral. And well, I think it was already dead. Yeah, I think. I've when I went to get the drill, I fed Bud, so he's probably eating that food right now. Well, he probably devoured it, so he acts like I never feed him. I swear to God, cats would just eat unlimited amounts of food if you let them. I guess that explains some people's cats. I don't know. Bringing back G4 just felt like, oh, I get to be a producer again. I gotta get this big building in Los Angeles. I kind of felt the same way about the first Mystery Science Theater Kickstarter. It's like, why? There's no reason to shoot this in Los Angeles. I think the new one is actually being shot in Minnesota. Although, I don't know, it felt disingenuous. It's like, oh, we did this, we all gave you this money for your Kickstarter, but you got a Netflix deal anyway. It's almost like you were just using the Kickstarter to get the Netflix deal, which is probably exactly what happens. Oh, this is Super Bowl 60? Super Bowl 60 will be Real Steel, your favorite movie. Oh yeah, Death Shaker. I think the cast was great. Like her and what's his face. Like they were. I think when they announced them in the cast, that's actually when that was the most I ever gave to a Kickstarter. I put $500 into that,
And because it was like, I was like, oh my god, this is great casting. And I thought the shows they made for Netflix were really good. I just thought, I don't know, I just thought it was a little. When I watched it, I felt it was kind of overproduced. I don't know. The Netflix one. I mean, I thought it was really good. I just, production wise, I was like, yeah, it seems a little overproduced, but still. Well, they do have a Culver City, Adam. They just don't have a Culver's. But also, nobody shoots in Los Angeles anymore. They don't even make movies there anymore. It's a ghost town. But yeah, apparently, this new... I think they're making 4 episodes with Mike. And apparently it's being shot in Minnesota, like the original was. I don't know why I thought... Well, no, actually, no. Circuit City had a Super Bowl ad? Felicia Day voiced one of the companions in Fallout New Vegas, remember? Like, it was, what was it? There was like a female brotherhood. I think that's who she was. I can't remember. But yeah, that was her. Okay, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Got the marker. I need one of my springs. No springs! Sure you want to call this an action figure? Never heard of an action sequence in A Christmas Carol before. After YouTube took over, Hollywood movie star actors are going down and start making YouTube clips. Yeah, it's... actually, the Oscars are going to be on YouTube in 2029. So all 10 people that watch the Oscars are going to have to log into YouTube to watch it. Yeah, I think that's what's going to end up happening at YouTube. It's going to be like a life raft for Hollywood. And we're the third class passengers who will get stuck below decks. Will the YouTube channels be loaded according to class? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we need the 1/2 inch. I'm getting kind of low on 1/2 inch screws. 1/2 inch trigger. Oh, this one, yeah. Yeah, I built like the enclosure for the Voron today, like the plastic. It took forever. It's like, I don't know. It feels like those Vorons are kind of... I mean, last time I went to Murph, which is 2023, Vorons were everywhere. But, I don't know. It seems... It's like a lot of labor. I mean, I haven't timed it, but it's probably easily like 40 hours. I hope it's high quality. Ben Heck steerage show. Yeah. You want to go to a real party? Oh, so who was ahead? 9-0. Who was winning? The Cubs. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Oh crap! Did I? Oh, I think I did trim my nails yesterday. Did I? No, I don't think I trimmed my thumbnails. I gotta make a good thumbnail. Yeah. Where's my cat? Maybe I... Bud, come here, Bud. Speaker of the devil, and he shall appear. Oh, are you an obedient cat? Obedient cat, obedient cat. This cat is an obedient cat. All right, jump to your home. There you go. See, Bud is a dog. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like the Seahawks to win because screw the Patriots. Well, Veronica Belmont, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. God, she went back to like the Ain't It Cool News days. She's ancient. Wasn't she like the only movie reviewer who didn't like Black Panther? And she was right because that movie sucked. Oh, they're double canceled. God, who's the other one? Colin Moriarty? Was that his name? I mean, most of those people are still around. Yep, there's Bud. Bud, you got pieces of chicken and food. Scary face. You can't just eat endlessly. Then you'll end up on my 60-pound cat life. See, I lobbed off at 0. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. You know, when I rented Black Panther on Amazon Video, I think that must have gotten the video pretty fast because I remember I was still living in my old apartment when I watched it, but I think I had like a 6-pack of beer while I was watching it, and so I was getting kind of, well, 6 beers don't really do much. But I guess I was buzzed enough where, like, I kind of entered this fugue state when I was watching the movie. I was like, did I accidentally rent the Asylum version of this movie? Because I'm like, this movie is not good. I'm like, what the hell? I just was like, did I rent the wrong movie? Righty. There we go. The Seattle Offsprays. Oh, I gotta order more Hall Effect sticks. Oh, do I have anything printed that has the holes in it? Oh, you mean the new Fantastic Four, the Marvel one? Wasn't very good, huh? MCU Burnout. Oh god, I stopped watching those movies like 4 years ago. Can't remember the last one I watched. Is probably Doctor Strange 2, because it was directed by Sam Raimi, so of course I had to watch it, but I don't know, I just don't care anymore. But Fallout Season 2 is good. I started watching it a couple days ago. I'm two episodes in. I'm kind of confused. Again, I was like, wait, did I just stop? I was like, why is everyone in the Brotherhood of Steel punching each other all of a sudden? I don't know. It feels a bit convoluted to me at the moment, but maybe I'll watch another one tonight. Where were we? Oh yeah, we got to do this. I watched that Josh Trank body horror Fantastic Four movie on a plane, and I didn't, it was plain good. Good enough for a plane. The only movie I've ever watched on a plane and feel like I wasted my time was Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch. I was like, this movie sucks. What the hell is this shit? I walked out. No GST. I was confused. I had an old thing on my calendar, so apparently I'm not going down to Spooky until next weekend, or next week, so I am not out of town. And I'll probably be here tomorrow night, too. Then I should be finally caught up. Yeah, I must have had that entry on my calendar from like a month ago. Because I was just there, like... When was that? 2 weeks? No. Week before last, I was there for like 3 days. Yeah. Well, I'm getting scatterbrained in my old age. You watch Snakes on a Plane? On a plane? Nice. Yes. The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie ever made. Exactly. Yep. Kind of like how Star Fox is the best Star Wars game ever made. This one? And Galaxy Quest is one of the best Star Trek movies ever made. By Grab Thor's Hammer. What a savings. They must be in the third quarter by now, right? Has this Bad Bunny show happened? This show that apparently everyone cares about? Now, is Bad Bunny... Are they a YouTuber, or are they... Oh, what do I care? For some reason... Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. It's like, who is that YouTube chick? Was like one of those like streamers, or maybe she was Twitch, and she was like the one that was like, you don't have $5. Her name was something like Bad Bunny, wasn't it? I got my boomer wires crossed. Okay, boomer. Seattle 12-0. Nice. Let's do the D-pad. Oh, we should have registration. If anyone's going to MGC and wants to do the workshop, if there's anyone left who hasn't done it yet, we should have registration open for that soon. I'm just going to do 25 slots again, because any more than that just is a cluster. I think we did at least. I think we did two times where we did two sessions, and it's just too much work. Oh, it is in the third quarter? Cash Me Outside? No. Well, she became a rapper. I think she actually became really successful. Whatever her name is. Well, Cash Me Outside Girl, that's her name, obviously. That's on her birth certificate. I am the Cash Me Outside Girl. So, you see what Cash Me Outside Girl, you think she would have ended up like living in a trailer park with 10 kids by the time she was 21, but no, she had a rap career, so good for her. She's probably got more money than Dr. Phil now. What the hell? She's like, remember me, Dr. Phil? He'd be like The Incredibles. Yes, you respect me now because I'm a threat. I should really get these pre-made someplace. How goes winter in Wisconsin? That's all right. The really cold spell seems to have broken. I actually got my first MG&E bill that was over $200 since I lived here. So, I guess it was pretty cold. Or they probably raised the prices too. I mean, right, probably a combination. Isn't the Hawk-Tua girl like a has-been now? Yeah, I agree, Retro, although gotta wait a while for spring here. Maybe like May. I'm still waiting to find out when they're gonna cut down my tree. They called me like, oh god, it was a while ago. It was like a week ago. They're like, oh, we had an opening. Do you want us to come tear down your tree today? And I'm like, no, I'm doing something. But maybe I should have said yes. Get it done. Oh wait, no, I hadn't moved the landscaping blocks away from the tree at that point, so I couldn't do it. Actually, I think I did. I removed most of them, but like some of them were like stuck in the ground because it was really cold. I waited till I got out to like a balmy 22 out. I think that was that last weekend when I did that? But the ones that are like in the ground, even with my sledgehammer, I couldn't get them out without destroying them. But I think, well, I got all the ones that were like above the surface, so that's probably good enough for the tree. But that for the grinder service that I signed up for grinder. For the grinder service, I think that's when you have to actually like remove everything from around it. Because I said that I wanted them to grind it as much as possible. So they're going to like, that's like a separate appointment. They come back later and then they have the machine like eat as much of the stump as possible, like under the ground.
It was only like $300 more.
Yeah, I think about the gas stuff with propane a lot because, you know, it's like, oh, I got some land. I got like a prepper cabin. And it's like, well, how would you heat it? And like,
Propane would be like twice as expensive as like city gas. City gas is pretty cheap, at least around here.
I mean, maybe long term would be worth it. Well, gosh. It's also, well, it's really expensive, like a ground source heat pump. I think the expensive part of that is like just burying all the tubes. Because you'd have to bury them.
Yeah, they'd have to be like at least 4 feet deep, probably further than that, because just because the ground doesn't freeze at 4 feet doesn't mean it's not cold. So like in the dead of winter, I'm sure you don't go down 5 feet and have 54 degrees. I'm sure it's, you know, 33 degrees. Yeah, I wonder how deep those have to go. How many orders am I? There's a guy who ordered just one. There was a guy who ordered. He ordered a lefty, but he actually wanted a righty, so he sent it back. So this is his replacement. I already actually. Yeah, then of course my luck. Like, since he sent it back, all the orders I've gotten have been for righty, so I can't just like ship them this guy's unused controller. So that's why I was a little behind. And then some guy ordered 4 at once. I did ship those off yesterday. Actually, as I've mentioned before, like now it seems like the rush is at tax return time. So it's probably actually going to be busier here soon. Yeah, it was 4 to 6 feet deep. There's not going to be that much heat down there. Because I know from the days when I used to work in the sign industry that, like here, the ground freezes 4 feet deep, which is why you have to go past that if you're like doing concrete. So, because you think about like the ambient temperature of like a cave is like 54 Fahrenheit. And I think you have to go fairly deep to get that. So that 100-foot thing is probably more what you're talking about. Oh, it sounds like it's... So it's basically like drilling a well then, huh? Because you're having to like... Well, also, wouldn't you have to put enough piping into the ground that it could... Whatever the cycle time is, like how much heat... I'm sure there's... Well, of course there's a rate at which you can exchange the heat. Like it's got to be down on the ground long enough to absorb the heat
and then come back out. So like it probably takes a certain minimum amount of tubing for it to even be feasible. It's thermal mass, that's the project? What do you mean by that? So the temperature of the Earth doesn't scale that much once you get past the frost line? Or below the frost line, I mean. I mean, how much more? I mean, is it like $10,000 or $20,000? Like, how expensive is it? I just know that it's more. But propane's also expensive. Well, propane, it's not the propane, it's the transportation. That's what you're paying for. I remember where we grew up. Well, of course, it was an old house, but yeah, I remember like they'd had to, like my parents would have to like fill up the propane tank like twice a winter, like $600 a pop, like back then. So even not adjusted for inflation, like $1,200 for a winter, like that's more than I pay. Actually, it's way more than I pay for gas here. Even not adjusting for inflation. Oh. Go Seahawks. Sports ball team. Bud, are you a sleepy cougar? Sleepy cougar. Win. Hello, fellow sports fans. Anything neat at Menards? I went there yesterday to buy some more LED light bulbs, and they did have like this deal. It was on the same end cap where the crappy projector was. It was there were like these crappy LED workshop lights. It was like the kind where it plugs in like with an Edison bulb, you know, an Edison plug, you know, standard light bulb. But then it had like those three things that fold out. I've actually got some here in the basement, but these are actually kind of decent. But these were like $1.99, and I'm like, oh, I thought about buying it, but I'm like, I don't have any place to put these. Like, I've already got all this. I still have the same corncob lights I had in my shop. They're in my garage, and they all still work. You need some more Menards videos? This Menards doesn't get it. I don't know. They just don't get. The projector was like, that was something, but usually they don't have anything like that anymore. It's kind of boring. I did a Menards grocery shopping video. I think what was that like? Crap, that was almost 2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, because I got it. I did it using the rebate from the flooring in the other room, which was December of 2023. So that video was probably, and the rebate takes forever. That video is probably from like April of 2023. I'm sorry, 2024. It's on my channel. It's like I get a Menards rebate for like $123, which of course you have to spend at Menards, and so I bought all groceries with it. And the thing is, I did a really good job of like not even. I just randomly bought like. I think I was within $5 of what the credit was. There was like I think there was like a mop or something else that I bought that didn't count. But yeah, it's like I wasn't even trying to like hit. I was like, I'm gonna buy $125 worth of food. I was just like, I'm gonna buy a bunch of food and then pay the difference. But the difference was, the delta was very small. So I don't know, maybe it was like watching Price is Right as a kid. I was like, he's beginning to believe. How do I find Goodwills? I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Google. I mean, I don't know. I know where all the Goodwills are. When everything was shut down for COVID, I would like go to Goodwills, like collecting like weird things. That was kind of like my cope, because there was like no conventions or anything. That's when I did my TI calculator collection. So I want to say like most of it actually came from Goodwills. Not all of it, but actually, well, no, a lot of it did. I think I can't remember if I ever actually found like a TI-89 in a Goodwill. I might have. I think it was crazy. Like I found like a couple like TI-84s, and it's like, or the modern 84 CEs, and it's like those, they still want like big money for those at Walmart or Staples, but you can find one at Goodwill for $5. Jay, I would say I don't frequent it like I did like 5 years ago. 'Cause I used to love going to Goodwills like back in the 90s. And pawn shops, because pawn shops were much better deals before eBay. eBay gave pawn shops a better way of knowing what stuff was worth, and everything got more expensive. Like here, the Goodwills definitely vary in quality. Like where I live, the best Goodwill is the one on the east side of Madison. That's the one where I found like a brand new air fryer, the laser disc player, the side loading VCR, all the best stuff came from that Goodwill. A weird pocket calculator? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember about that. I think I did find some Casios, yeah. Maybe? But yeah, I found all the best stuff at the East Side Goodwill. There's other Goodwills that are kind of like the Goodwill in Verona. You would think would be better because there's so many rich people there, but it's actually not very good Goodwill. The Goodwill on Verona Road, which is actually just north of the one I mentioned, that one's actually pretty good too. So yeah, they definitely, and there's a Goodwill not far from here on Monona Goodwill. But They never have anything interesting there. But if there's something I actually want to get at Goodwill, like a picture frame or something, I'll go there because, of course, they'll have a picture frame. But they never have anything interesting at that one. Wow, 99 cents. Nice. Very true, PC Thread. Rich people are often the most frugal MFers you'll come across. Well, I think what happens is like all the best stuff goes on the YouTube, the Goodwill website, so it never makes it into the store. If I find out that ended up in Mexico, it's never leaving town. Breaking Bud. If you want to find stuff, get it off poor people. Oh, that reminds me. I was going to do a table again at VCF. Well, I didn't do a table last year, and I kind of regret it. So I'm going to do one again this year. But I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to give away. I had like these extra computers, but they have precious RAM in them. Can't give away the RAM. It's like Water World. Nothing's free in Water World. Pure RAM, 64 kilos. How'd you come by so much of it? Yeah, 1903. It's the same thing that happened with pawn shops. It's like, oh, we can get this much for it? Pawn shops were a lot cheaper back in the, or they had cheaper stuff back in the 90s before eBay. Because yeah, once eBay was a thing, they could just they could look it up on eBay and then oh, that's my price, I guess. Blah, blah, blah. This is a righty. Okay. Is it still 12-0, the Super Bowl? The Patriots haven't scored at all? Seattle's defense must be awesome. Patriots have a hard time scoring without those deflated footballs. Quote eBay at yard sales? Pff, wow, that's lame. Let's see. Yeah, I wonder what. Yeah, there's a new controller. The Patriots, they just won too much in the teens. It's like they should just call it the frickin' Patriots Bowl at a certain point. It's like, it's not interesting, you know? People want to see, like, the scrappy upstart win. It's like Rocky. Like, Patriots winning all those Super Bowls was like the sports movie, but like the rich kid college keeps winning all the time. Like, nobody wants to see that movie. Well, we talk about Goodwill prices and how it's crazy, but like 99% of people that like shop at Goodwill go there for the clothes. So they don't give a shit about the computers or the weird toasters or something. I think that's probably, I don't know how much the clothes cost there, but oh, the good Goodwill I was talking about. I remember one other thing was like, no matter what it was, nothing was ever over $25. So the Laserdisc player was $25. The weird, I actually think the weird VCR was $4. Like the intact Flavor Wave oven was $25. That seemed to be like the highest price. Of course, again, that was probably like, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. So. Raspberry Pi 5. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Raspberry Pi makes me think of like Shasta soda, where it's like, oh, Pepsi's really expensive now. I guess we should raise our prices. And the twist ending is like, when the AI bubble crashes, like, oh, good, I can buy RAM now. Oh, wait, I lost my job. That's gonna be the twist ending to that story, unfortunately. Consider, if you will, a man wanting to buy a stick of RAM, but he doesn't realize that the RAM is only being sold in the Twilight Zone. Yeah, I think it's it did seem pretty likely that the Patriots were cheating with those deflated footballs. Yeah, people want to see the underdog win. It's like, again, if you're making a movie, you wouldn't let like the multi-million-dollar guy with like a supermodel wife, like he would get like a bucket of goo dumped on his head. He wouldn't win. You know, people just don't want to see that. Oh, nice. Bud is a big fat kitten cat. Bud is a big fat kitten cat. Oh, excuse me. Interesting take, GST. Micro wiring. Let's see AI do this. I wonder what humanity will do once gas and oil, well, gas and oil, as opposed to just gas. Now think about it this way. It's like, think about how like unstable the Middle East is, and now take away gas. It could get a lot worse. Well, they say that's why the Saudis Well, first of all, they built all those like ridiculous fake islands, but I guess nobody lives there. So now they're like, oh, we're gonna buy EA, we're gonna buy WWE. It's like the idea is apparently they are like trying to diversify into a less oil future. Or, yeah. I mean, because yeah, eventually it'll run out. Just, well, it won't run out, but it's like it'll just be too expensive to get it all. Well, who knows? How much could be under Antarctica? I mean, did green things ever grow in Antarctica? Maybe? I don't know. Well, the other thing with oil is our good buddies, the Saudis, force everyone to buy their oil in petrodollars, and that's one of the ways we keep our fake currency afloat. So again, what happens in a world without oil? Like, the US dollar would be shown to be an emperor with no clothes. I mean, it already is, but... But the petrodollar is a big part of it. And that kind of, it goes back to around the same time that Nixon took us off the gold standard. I mean, I think that's the real reason they went after the guy in Venezuela was, it wasn't about drugs, it was about petrodollars. Ancient plant life in Antarctica? Well, you know what that means. Oil! Yeah, they're gonna start drilling and they'll awaken some eldritch god and he'll be like, humans, the folly of man, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, Kurt Russell would somehow be involved. What do I think about the gold and Bitcoin crash of last week? Well, I think the Bitcoin crash is a lot more relevant because gold crashed, but it crashed after, like, gold has doubled in less than 2 years. So yes, it did crash from like its all-time high like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, but it's still gone up quite a bit. My thoughts on Bitcoin are entirely conspiratorial. I think when they want to do the digital bank, or what they call it, the central bank digital currency, I think when they decide to pull the trigger on that, they will have to get rid of their competition, which would be Bitcoin. So I think at some point there probably will be some sort of like artificial destruction of it because it would be competition. And again, it's all speculative, you know. Like it's like, oh, why is this worth so much more? Well, both of them went up because the U.S. dollar is shit. I mean, the only reason the U.S. dollar is not more shit is because, like, we see currencies like the Canadian dollar, which is even more shit, but it's still shit. Let's see, righty, left 3. Duke reissues? Well, 1903, that's part of it. I mean, I do think it's prudent to... Eventually we will go to war with China. So, you know, if we can take some steps, that's probably a good thing. Because the thing is, now that we push China and Russia together, that's a world war we might not win. And, yeah. It's like if they took over the world, like if China took over the world, then it would be literally fascism, because it is. Oh, the Patriots got a touchdown, damn it. Well, it seems Bitcoin is more about, like, it's a currency based off video cards. Like, I read something the other day, like, they said it costs like $90,000 to mine a Bitcoin. So it's like, oh, so that's where the value's coming from then. Well, that and the fact that there's, what, only 21 million that will ever exist. Yeah, they said that about the US dollar too. Then 1913 happened. Then the Titanic sunk. And then, there. Maybe I get a Ministry of Truth banner. YouTube's like, oh no, oh no. Let's draw attention to this crazy conspiracy theory by putting a Ministry of Truth banner on it. It's true. Like, I never knew there were any conspiracies about the Titanic until one day I'm watching a freaking Titanic video, and according to Wikipedia, the RMS Titanic sank, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? Why is this on the Titanic video? So then I go and I Google Titanic conspiracies, and I'm like, oh, I never heard of this. Well, I mean, I would hope we would win that war, but historically, you kind of want not China. You kind of want Russia to be on your side. You know, like, yeah. Russia did a lot of damage to the Nazis back in the day, long before we were involved. They also stopped Napoleon. China has like 1 million men. Well, I guess we do now too. China has like millions of young men who will never find a wife. Just stick them right into the cannon, you know? Well, I guess that's us now too. Okay, that one's a draw. Not the cleanest thing I've ever done. Oh, that's cool. I think the bigger problem is, I feel like I don't think World War III would be a hot. Well, I don't think it'd be a nuclear war right off the bat. But I think if you got into a situation where, like, one or other countries was losing, that's probably when a button would get pushed. You know, like rage quitting a match. Do you date Ben? I haven't dated in quite a while. I don't know. I just think Russia, well, yeah, Russia was very helpful in World War II. And then, of course, we hated them, but we used them. I mean, historically, Stalin was not that much better than Hitler. But, oh, he was our buddy. At least for a little bit. Stalin killed a lot of people. A lot of people. See, that's why I didn't actually think the end of Game of Thrones was that weird. I mean, it was rushed, but it's like, you know, in history, you know, that happens, you know, like, oh, I'm for the people, and now I'm going to kill everyone. It has some precedent. Saying Russia's going to Kurt Cobain us. Well, first of all, Kurt Cobain was obviously killed by Courtney Love. Oh, wait, Courtney Love's lawyers are going to come after me. That one's kind of like the moon landing. You'd be surprised how many people believe that one. No, I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't be worried about Russia. I'd be worried about Russia and China as allies. That would be the real problem in a third world war. That's actually one of the reasons I do support the idea of like tariffs and like building things here, because we did not defeat the Nazis by buying our ball bearings from them. That's what really won the war, was having a whole country that could manufacture stuff, and a whole country that could manufacture stuff that wasn't being bombed. Like, think about it, like, what if the Germans were trying to make a nuclear bomb too? Like, what if, oh, I'm sorry, an atomic bomb, like, but, you know, they were getting bombed and stuff, whereas here, you know, none of that happened. So, yeah. America was like a big, safe place where you could, you know, build tanks and grow food and make rations, but that was an advantage we had over the people in the active, even over England, yeah, because England required all the stuff to be sent from here. But yeah, like, what would you do now? Like, you know, like if you lost TM, whatever that place is in Taiwan, it's like, could we even get the chips to put into our fighter jets? I don't know. I think, you know, not just like, you know, people trying to be like warmongers. I just think you should move forward assuming that will happen someday, because it will. War never changes. And that wouldn't even like really be like a proxy war kind of thing. It almost seems like a more kind of like real organic war. You know, not like all this other stuff that usually happens. Yeah, speaking of the past, that's why I'm wary of Bitcoin, because when they turned on the printers after the Great Depression, they seized our gold because, again, they had to remove competition for the U.S. dollar because they're about to deflate it. And well, yeah, that's exactly what would happen now if they did. Like, I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to do the central bank digital currency, and it's going to be like this hack to like get rid of the debt. I think that's what's going to happen. Because the thing is, our debt was beyond the point of no return even before COVID, and now it's just accelerated. So they will have to do something eventually, because it won't. There's definitely a point in the not too distant future of insolvency. Seattle got the ball. Oh, burpee chicken. I think it's time for a beer break. I'll be right back. In the meantime, you can look at Bud. Well, well, well. If it isn't Bud the cat. Bud is 5 years old. He will be 6 in May. Well, actually, here, let's count the rings to see how old Bud is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. La da da da. I gave Bud a snack earlier today. He's good. I have a washing machine. I think the other thing about our debt is, because someone just mentioned Reagan, it's like we would kill to have Reagan level debts right now, or even Bush 2 level debts. Like, it's really just exponentially exploded ever since 2008. It's almost like we never actually got out of that financial crisis. You're stuck in a simulation, inside a simulation, inside a simulation. It's like, what? When didn't we print money since 2008? Like maybe Trump's first term. Other than that, it's just been print. I think there was starting to maybe be some hope. Like when I know this is going to sound bad. Like when they started to raise rates during Trump's first term, but then COVID hit and blew it all to hell. Yeah, the federal prime rate was pretty much zero for like Obama's entire term, and then they were buying all those mortgage-backed equities, quantitative easing or printing money. So the money printing, it wasn't just like one shot like in 2008. It like went on for many years. It causes other problems too, like, you know, people are like, oh, well, rates are coming down. Well, the thing is, rates are coming down, but like, if the bank can get 4.5 on a treasury bill, since our debt is so high, the treasury bill yields have to go up. So if banks can get a guaranteed 4.5 on that, they're not going to make less than that giving you a risky mortgage. So I think that's going to, our debt level is going to create a floor that mortgages won't be able to go beneath. So like, I don't think 3% mortgages are ever coming back. Oh, well, we borrow money to pay the debt. Yeah, isn't the debt like $1.4 trillion per year? I mean, it's gone up very fast. Like, I think before COVID, it was like maybe 600 or 700, only 600 or 700 billion. But I'm pretty sure it's over. I know it's over $1 trillion, and it's actually greater than our two other greatest debts, or expenses, which is Social Security and, of course, the military. It's pretty bad. And that's just servicing the debt. So that's paying the minimum monthly allowance on your credit card. Well, something else like a lot of debt is like Social Security buys U.S. Treasury bonds. It's like people are like, oh, China, Japan. I mean, they have a lot of our debt, but actually a lot of our debt is held here in the country, even by other government programs. Because it's not like Social Security just takes your money and holds it for 40 years. Like, they try to grow it. Yeah, well, GST, well, we were talking about, well, I don't know. I thought that's what we were talking about. We were talking about, like, how much of the yearly national budget is spent just on servicing our existing debt, paying the interest. So call it like 4% on $38 trillion. We have a cave troll. Could I even put $38 trillion into this calculator? I guess I can. Okay, $38 trillion times 0.04. Yeah, it's about 1.5 trillion. Jesus. We're screwed. We're fucked. Jafar, get a grip. You can't just say I declare bankruptcy and expect something to happen. Well, I didn't say it, I declared it. There we go. 38 trillion. Oh, nice. Seattle. How many minutes are left in the Super Bowl? I mean, if you want to go really far back in time, like Clinton balanced the budget. I mean, now there's debate on if it was actually balanced or like how many life hacks he did to make it happen. But for a brief period, and that was back when the debt was only like, what, maybe 2 or 3 trillion? But then 9/11 happened. Same thing. There go the money printers. Yeah, the Social Security insolvency is, well, when it starts to become negative is 2032. I'm guessing what's going to happen is, like, Gavin Newsom will probably run on a tax the billionaires agenda, and he'll be like, this will save Social Security, but it still won't. The billionaires all just like how all the billionaires moved out of California, they'll just move out of America. Because they can afford to move. Looks like everything's good. Let's continue. La, da, da, da. Oh, I was watching a YouTube video of the Shadow of the Ninja remake that apparently exists. Maybe I'll have to try that. Maybe I'll do that for the next the next charity stream. Yes, billionaires will just leave. Yes, exactly. They can afford to. Thing is, you could seize every cent. Well, you could seize every cent, and it wouldn't even begin to stop the debt problem. Well, actually, like Ron Paul said many years ago, at some point you're going to have to cut services and raise taxes, and it's going to be a tough thing to do, but at some point they'll have to. Or they'll, do a currency hack. Yeah, didn't they have to dismantle a bridge for Jeff Bezos' yacht to go underneath it? Maybe AI will solve our problems. Yes, AI will push the button. It'll be just like the Fallout show. Where Walt... Oh, wait. Spoiler warning. Never mind. I think they should just make that show the Ghoul Show. I don't care about any of the side characters. All I care about is, like, I want to see... I assume what happens to that... Well, actually, no. I've only watched the first 2 episodes of Season 2, so I guess I shouldn't talk about it. But I don't know. The thing, AI is just so... It's like we're going to base our entire economy around something that takes people's jobs. Wow, good plan. Or like, look at Adobe as a great example. Like, oh, we're going to base our entire creative software company around something that will make our company obsolete. And maybe that's why they're doing it, because they want to, like, they're like, well, if somebody's going to replace Photoshop, it might as well be us. Maybe that's what they're doing. You know what I always think is funny? Like, I see people saying, well, AI is why we need universal basic income. And it's like, well, where's that money going to come from? And then on top of it, it's like, if you draw a Venn diagram of, like, people who want UBI and people who are, like, super obsessed with the climate, here is that Venn diagram. See how it's just one circle, right? So, they're not going to pay a bunch of people to sit around consuming carbon and exhaling carbon and not producing anything. So, the UBI would be more like you be dead, just like what the machines would do. According to all the movies. Some of us were kept alive, loading bodies. The incinerators ran day and night. We were that close to going out forever. Well, yeah, you got to use all your timeouts in the fourth quarter, and the 2-minute warning. So that's a free timeout right there. Well, I guess you might end up with something like Wall-E, where like the computers do everything for the people. But again, so then why would you even have the humans around? Well, I guess technically in Wall-E, the robots weren't self-aware. They were kind of like mindless slaves until Wall-E woke them up. But yeah, it's more likely like if it was ever like Skynet decided our fate in a microsecond, extermination, like it would be for environmental reasons. Like why would you keep these humans around? Like, look how much water you have to dump onto crops to grow the plants to feed one human for a year. Now multiply that by 7 billion, and it just doesn't add up. Especially if the humans aren't producing anything. Well, okay, so what you would do, Guy, in that situation is you turn the robots into consumers. And that's really when you get Skynet. Because in order to turn the robots into consumers, you would have to get them flaws, like greed and want and desire. And you've got Skynet. Do you want Skynet? Because that is how you get Skynet. Well, maybe they can't even... Well, Star Trek is just a quadrant of the galaxy. Maybe they just can't go past that? Oh, wait, no, Voyager they did. Didn't they end up like in a different quadrant of the galaxy in Voyager? And they were trying to get home the whole time? What powered Terminator? I don't know. You know, a movie actually holds up pretty well is Terminator Salvation, because they kind of show some of like the transition. It doesn't necessarily really look like a post-apocalyptic world. It's like we didn't know how good we had it with movies that were like that. Oh crap, that one broke. Damn it. Don't have time to play with myself. Oh yeah, that's right, the wormhole. And wasn't it the Dominion on the other side of the wormhole? See, yeah, the thing is, if you were an AI and you wanted to, like, take over the world, you'd have to make sure that there was, like, enough infrastructure that you could actually, like, do something. See, another underrated Terminator movie, Terminator 3, where they show kind of how Judgment Day happens. Like, they were, like, robots that, I mean, they're primitive, but they existed, so it's like, okay... So after the bombs go off, the robots could probably roll around and, like, do things. Because, yeah, like, how do you build... I mean, if you're just software, how the hell do you build an automated factory for Terminators? So there has... I always thought it was like You know how they had like the Planet of the Apes remake or whatever? Or I guess technically it was a prequel. And they show you kind of like how civilization fell in each one of the movies. Like, I wish they would have done that with the Terminator, because I think that'd be a really interesting story to tell in the Terminator world, but we never really got it. It's like they could have made a really great, like, a trilogy, and it would have been like right after Terminator 3, like, show us like what happens after the bombs fell, and like the robots taking over and like the slave camps. Show us that, and then the middle movie would be like Terminator Salvation, and then the third movie would be them destroying Skynet and sending Kyle Reese back in time, and boom, you got a perfect circle. Well, the hydrogen reactors were not introduced until Terminator 3, but they also appeared again in Terminator Salvation, which was a direct sequel to Terminator 3. They just had different actors. Like, so Bryce Dallas Howard in that movie technically plays the same character as Claire Danes in Terminator 3. And the left is a little wishy-washy. Hashtag modem sounds. It's an LGR blurb. Ah, this one cracked too. What the hell? What the hell? Yeah, that switch is a little misaligned. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I'm the weirdo who actually thinks the first Terminator movie is the best. The second one's just a remake. A much bigger budget, slicker made, but it's a remake. And all they really do is they go from having Kyle Reese be the one who's lost his humanity, and then they have Sarah be the one who's lost her humanity. Instead of Kyle Reese regaining his humanity through Sarah, Sarah regains her humanity through her son. But it's basically the same story. They just flip the characters around. I mean, obviously Terminator 2 is still a great film, but, well, I think it's too long. I wish it was shorter. Oh, geez, another one. What the hell is with this filament? It's cursed. It's going to wreck all of these. Like, I know people like to say, like, oh, Sarah Connor was a great female protagonist. Like, no, she wasn't. She was like a toxic whack job in the second movie. I mean, I guess that was part of the plot, but, like, I don't know. I always thought she was crazy. I mean, well, she was crazy, but... I guess she was traumatized by war. But then when she goes to kill that one dude, she's like, oh, I've become a Terminator. Yeah, very, very deep stuff. You have become, Mom, you've become a Terminator. It's true. My son made me realize I had become the thing I hate, a Terminator. It was then I swore to stop terminating. Call to Bud meow. I know this hurts, Bud. At 2:14 Eastern Time, Bud became self-aware. He launched all his greeny missiles at Russia. Oh, come on. Have you guys noticed a pattern with these D-pads? The full power of his one orange brain cell. Yeah. My CPU is a learning computer, but there's only one brain cell. Bud, you only have one brain cell? I don't even have one brain cell. I have to timeshare it. I have a UNIVAC system. I know this. Skynet is NVIDIA. Look, I've got a red one. He took the red one. They deflated the clock. Well, what's the score? They can't possibly come back. All they can do is lose slower. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no way they can possibly win. Unless they got like 3 interceptions or something. Ha 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 ha! Ark encounters in the Creation Museum. Let's see if this fits. Okay. Well, the next Seahawks possession, they're just going to take the ball and run out the clock, and then it'll be over, so. Yeah. You heard me said, old man. The game's over. You lose. Holy crap. Patriots only scored in the fourth quarter? That's... Wow. Oh shit, Seattle was in the fourth quarter too. Oh, that's a pretty boring game. Wait. Seattle had 6 points in the... So what... Oh, they got... Oh wait, so Seattle just got like 2 field goals in the second quarter? So it was nothing but field goals until the fourth quarter? Alright. Now comes the part where I relieve you, the little people, of the burdens of your failed and useless lives. I like these. I like adjusting these pots. I don't like the Hall-Fix sensors. Like sometimes the stick just wouldn't be very well centered. Like with this, I can actually make sure it's perfectly centered. Haha, yes, die, Patriots, die! This is one of the narrow things I need. I think I need a wide one. Sometimes these narrow ones constrict the movement. I can't even fold my arms. Did Joker pass? I think there was like a deleted scene where they show that the money was fake money with his face on it, but it's not actually in the movie. Oh, darn it. The Patriots lost. Wop, wop. What's the switch on the back of the controller? Switch? Icing problem. You mean this thing? Yeah, this is the right-handed. So you got this trigger here. This trigger is duplicated to here. Well, moved would be a better way to put it. So yeah, that's what it does. And then this guy is here. L3 is here. And then obviously the D-pad's moved over. Yeah, I'd be curious if they made a new controller, like, I don't know. Hopefully it's easy to mod. This one is fairly... I did see that one new revision circuit board, but I've only ever seen that once. Although, again, it's kind of hard to... Yeah, like, I can't remember what color that controller was. Like, I have not... Like, on Amazon, I haven't seen, like, new white Xbox controllers for sale for like many months. They're usually like puke green or some color that nobody wants. So this is like this red one. This is, you know, acceptable. And I'm not gonna like make a puke green controller and send it to someone because who wants that? Or like a hot pink, you know, like a guy's not gonna want that. Oh right, she's right as rain. Unbelievable. Bud, you look sleepy. You have derpy eyes. Yeah, I could see them making a Steam controller ripoff. Oh. So you got the Voron. The Voron is very heavy now. I didn't expect it to be that heavy. Still not done either. I had to like reprint some of the clamps for the side. It's a lot of work to put that together, so hopefully it's worth it. Oh yeah, I did have a kind of a mini rant about that. Like, it just seems like wasteful where it's like, oh, we've got this big ARM board in here, but then you also need a Raspberry Pi 3 or greater, and then you had to connect it with another computer. It's like, man, this kind of sucks. Yeah, I like the AA batteries too, because then you can like just quickly change them. You don't have to like wait for it to recharge, or have a long cable recharging your PlayStation controller while you're trying to play it if the batteries die. Or if you're being really lazy, you just reverse the batteries, which gets you a little bit more time. That's like, we learned that back in the 80s. Only Gen X kids will remember this. If you remember this Gen X trick, you're a secret super genius. Oh. Hey, that was pretty quick. Like what? 2 hours, 12 minutes. Nailed it. Oh, what'd you think about that, bud? All right, so this would be Neil Brown. Docs. Then Dustin S. So I've got one more of these red guys. Oh, excuse me. So this would be for Dustin. I'm single-handedly, get it, keeping Xbox in business. Yep, see a tube and jar. Yeah, I'm probably going to bounce here in just a few minutes as well. Oh, yeah, maybe I'll go watch some more episodes of Fallout. I thought of an analogy with AI the other day. I was thinking about when I was a teenager and I would in the summers I would
go work with my stepdad at his construction company. And he'd always get upset when I didn't know how to do something. And he'd be like, I gotta spend time showing you how to do this, blah, blah, blah. And vibe coding reminds me of that. Where it's like, you tell it to do something, and then it tries to do it, but then it F's something up. Then you have to go back and fix it. And you're like, oh man, I had to spend extra time doing this. And because there's something like with a Bud's auto feeder, a lot of that was vibe coded, as covered in the video. And there's something I have tweaked the code. Like, when did I start using that? October? So that's been running like 3.5 months now. I have tweaked the code several times, just on observations. And this one fail state it was having was sometimes it would the X carriage would get below the home, so it wouldn't be able to home because the tab was past home. So I was like, okay, well, probably the safest way to do this is to switch to relative positioning mode, advance it like 30 millimeters positive, so that you know you're definitely past the home sensor, so you'll always be above it, so you go reverse and then you'll hit it. So then I asked, I think if that was in Visual Studio Code, and I was like, hey, can you add this? And it was like, oh, okay. And it added like another state at the beginning of the state machine. And that part's handy because like inserting like something like another state in a state machine is kind of a pain in the butt. So that kind of stuff it's handy to use AI for. But then what I didn't realize is that it had put in this safe X procedure like in 3 other parts of the code. So it was causing these other problems, and I didn't even realize what was happening. But like, it was basically adding 30 millimeters relative in other parts of the code, which is effing stuff up. I'm surprised it was even still working. But it wasn't until I actually like took a look and like, wait a minute, why did it do this? Like, why is there 4 calls of this function? So I just manually removed them. Yeah, so that kind of sucked. So I guess that's a problem with vibe coding is like, you can spend more time fixing stuff than it actually saves. Don't they call that work slop on the internet? Did I win? I didn't win anything. Yeah, you're right, Holderby, yeah. But yeah, there was a couple of projects where I was like, okay, I've got extra credits. I'll just burn them on this project just to see how well I could build something from scratch. And it's kind of scary. I think what I would probably do in the future is I would have it, like you can give it just like a blank folder and it will create like all of like the make files and all the structures. Maybe I'll just use it for that in the future. Because I'm trying to like use VS Code more just like for variety. So I'm trying to do more like C++ stuff in Linux using VS Code. So yeah, I'll probably, yeah, I mean, I'll use the AI to like make the base. Because that part it's pretty good at. But yeah, I think you get to the point where like you don't even know what it's doing under the hood. I mean, you can look, but it becomes like this black box, and then again you end up in Wall-E. All right, well, I think I'm going to call it a night. I guess it's a pretty short stream, but the build went fast. Yeah, so since I don't have to travel for work this week, I will most likely be doing this tomorrow night, the usual time, and then I'll be caught up with controllers. Yay! Now you might think, oh wait, oh no, actually, oh that's right, I have a repair too. Oh wait, no, I just offered that guy. I was just like, I already got a lefty here. You want to buy it? For a great price. So yeah. So actually, yeah, I can probably get caught up pretty good. Maybe we can do Sprite night if I run out of controllers. All right, I'll catch you next time, guys. Later.